In this video, I'm going to share with you my secrets to passing this course. When I first started teaching this course, I thought that students would just know how to pass this course. Not so much, it turns out. Many students have no idea what it takes to pass this course. So in this video, I'm going to share that with you, and I really hope that you take what I say to heart so that you will pass this course, because I very much want everyone to pass this course the first time through. So how does one go about passing statistics? There are 3 things that you need to do in order to pass Math 1530. And if you do these 3 things, and if you do them well, then you have an enormously good chance of passing Math 1530. I would say only 1% of those who actually follow this formula do not pass this course. So what do you need to do? You need to study first and foremost. And the second thing you need to do is also study. And then the third thing is, of course, as you might have guessed, also study. But we're actually studying in 3 different ways. The first way that we're studying is you've got to put in the time. In order to do well in this course, you've got to study a whole lot. There are an enormous amount of assignments for this course, from the online homework to the paper homework to the discussion assignments to the projects. You have got an enormous amount of stuff to do, so you've got to put in the time and do that work. And then the second thing is, when you're doing that work, you need to study sincerely. Because there are so many assignments, students find themselves tempted to cut corners and not do the assignments well, not do them sincerely, to just copy out of the solutions manual, for example, and you're only hurting yourself when you do that, because when it comes time to take the test, then you won't do well. And that brings us to our third part. You've got to review for the exams. The exams are more than half of your grade for the course. They're enormously important. So if you haven't put in the time and you haven't studied sincerely, you don't really have a chance on the exams. But even if you've done the first 2 things, you have to review for the exams to maximize your score and to maximize your chances. Because you've got 50% of your grade on the line, you need to spend almost 50% of your time reviewing for these exams alone. So how much time should you be spending? What is the recommended study time? Well, the general rule of thumb that almost everybody says, and if you Google it, you can confirm that authorized sources are telling you that for university or college courses, you need to study 2 to 3 hours for every hour you're in class. And with online classes, you're never actually in class, so that means 3 to 4 hours total. And then we can do the math, because we're on sort of a very different schedule out here at Fort Campbell. We know that TBR requires 40 hours of class time. So we're looking at 40 hours. We've got 1 hour in the class, and we've got 2 hours to 3 hours of study time. And so when we do the math, that's going to give us between 120 and 160 hours total that you need to be studying for this course. So at least 120 hours over the next 8 weeks needs to be dedicated to this course. So 120 divided by 8, 160 divided by 8, that means we're going to be spending 15 to 20 hours each week on this course alone. That's like a whole half-time job right here, this course, 15 to 20 hours a week. If you're on main campus, you'll only be spending roughly half that time, because your course is spread over almost twice as much as what we have. The typical response I get when I tell students this, although they don't actually say it to me, but I can tell that's what they're thinking, is, yeah, whatever. All the professors say that, and they really don't mean it. And my response to that is, yes, I know. I've been a student. I've been in courses where professors have promised me that I would spend way more time trying to pass that course than I've actually spent. So I know where you're coming from, but I promise you that this course is different. This course will require a great deal of your time. If you don't believe me the first time through this course, then you will believe me the second time. I promise. And I also promise that most students who don't study around 15 hours a week don't pass. The majority of them, I promise you, who don't study 15 hours a week don't pass. Those who don't study even close to 15 hours don't stand a chance of passing the class unless they have an astronomically high ACT composite score of well over 30. And even then, it's a gamble to spend a lot less than 15 hours every single week in this class. Here is a division of the class time you should be spending. You'll notice that the very first part of the course, it's going to be kind of slow and you're not going to have nearly as much time as I've been saying, but all of this does sum to 120. You'll notice that here in the middle of the course, you will be unbelievably busy for Chapter 5, the midterm review, Chapter 6. You're going to be working very hard and earning your grade for the course in those times. So if you don't want to be that busy, if you don't have the spare time to be that busy during that time, you should work ahead and be prepared and probably even do Chapter 6 before we do the midterm if you don't have a lot of time. And look at this last part of the course. You're going to be just crazy busy when we do Chapters 8, Chapters 9, and the second project, and then reviewing for the final, which you should be spending 25 hours to do. Now, all of these time divisions are very rough estimates, and I've based it only on a very small amount of data, so it could be easily that these aren't the best estimates to do. And obviously, they're going to vary from person to person. But if yours varies drastically from this, I would appreciate it if you would just let me know in discussions, and that way I can give a better time estimate and adapt it for future students. Thank you.